Oh, game, so we're home from the link and we got the ZAZA. You know, I was gonna get right tomorrow, but because it's kind of late, it's almost 12 o'clock. But we get it right now. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna get right one last time and then maybe tomorrow, I don't know. However long this joint lasts me. Okay, let me open it up. Okay. Probably gonna do like a hit. I haven't smoked in a minute, yo. That's all I'm doing. Nothing, yo. I'll let you know how it goes when I eat my food. Yo, to think while you're high is one heck of a thing, but just think about it when you're writing something down and then you start getting into some sort of flow. They say rappers have this flow, but then you start writing and then you get into that flow where your conscious mind is shutting off and your subconscious mind is just speaking, but you lose function and the ability to write. Like your handwriting gets worse, but your creativity boosts up. So you're dazing off into this cycle of writing. You're just flowing your words, but it isn't being elaborated on the paper as well because you're losing consciousness and moving to the subconscious mind. So you fall into that state, and then you get alerted, and you're back up, and your handwriting gets better, back to normal. But you're back in the conscious state of mind where there's pressures and anxieties, and no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that. Like implanted in your mind as a survival technique, and so you don't get judged by other people. So fall into that flow state, but try to be conscious of the things around you, but don't fall back into that conscious state of being. And then your wrist, holding my guitar like this, is bending the wrist bone, and then over time it doesn't hurt because the guitar neck is heavy. It hurts because the wrist wants to get back to its equal state. Pretty cool. Why do people smoke nicotine? Why do I eat so much fruit? When you're in the high dopamine state, you're living in stress. You're in a stress-free state. When that starts to come down, you enter into a very stressful state of being. Now, some people are able to withstand that stress and all those bad emotions by just being strong, having the willpower, staying in that low level for a little bit, so you have the power, you build the power. And then people who need a dopamine stick, a vape, you know, they need it so frequently. It's even worse than diabetes, because diabetes, you gotta eat some fruit, you gotta eat some sugar. With the smoking, you always have that on you. So at least with the diabetes, you do get to experience some sort of low level, because you can't constantly be eating sugar. So you get accustomed to it a little bit, because you still have that way to get out of it quickly with the dopamine. But with the nicotine stick, people get into that state of stress and immediately they hit it again. And that's why people get so stressed out and they start tripping out when they don't know where their nic stick is, because it starts depleting so quickly. And that little bit of stress is petrifying to them. So you have a sugar problem, my friend. You always need to be in that high. But I want to think right now, like, how do I feel in that state of stress? And I feel like maybe that's my resilience. I'm living in stress, and I need to get out of it by losing these cycles, by getting out of them. Thank you. Right now, you are just a fat slob from the past generation. because you got to the point where it was like, okay, I'm not gonna fall to their current tricks by feeding us all these processed foods, these processed sugars, so I'm gonna eat really healthy. So then I guess whatever's in your mind sees you going to the past good traditions, eating the grass-fed beef. So then they're like, alright, if the new stuff isn't gonna work, we're gonna use the tactics we used in that generation. And what is that? The fried chicken, the fruit, the candy of the gods, which is the fruit. And we're gonna feed him that, and even though he won't be the man, he still won't be as lazy as the ones we created in the current generation, because the plan is to get us weaker and weaker. He's just gonna be a really bad version of that past generation. So the only way out of it, they'll keep on getting you with the tricks they had in that generation. The deeper you get down, that's the more progress you're making. But the only way to escape this is not to outthink him 2 times or 3 times the devil. It's not to do that. It's to live a life in the Bible. And that's the only way to get out of it. The only way. Live a life of God. Live a life of goodness. Because a fat fuck of the previous generation is shredded right now. And what does that tell you? The male fertility rate is decreasing, and it is their plan. I don't care about money or the stock market, because it's the elite, whoever's really controlling it, the ones that want to keep the candy industry around, the plastic industry around, for the power to make us less manly. So follow God, follow God's traditions, and that's the only way the devil can't get you. Eat the food that's moving, that's flying around like a salmon or an ox, full of strength and muscle. Not a fat, lazy cow standing around all day long. I don't want to eat that. I could taste that. I could taste it when that animal has been doing nothing. Thank you. The system. Look. They have these entertainment systems. They have these entertainment systems that they use to distract us. And it started out with movies, and even before that, plays, but then it decreased to movies, then it decreased to television, then it decreased to YouTube videos, and now it's decreasing to TikToks. And why is this? The value of the production keeps on getting lower. But here's the thing. As the value of the production gets lower, at that moment, a movie's advertisements are around the same, are a lot bigger and more expensive than the advertisements for the movies. So here's the play. Here's the movies, and here's the TV show. At the moment, advertisers are able to pay more for the movie previews because the movie is a more expensive production, and the ads for the TV are a lot cheaper. They're lower grade because it doesn't cost as much to create a TV show. It costs more to make a movie. So at that moment, the value is still higher for the movie, but there's this new thing that's going to slow us down with less valuable advertisements. But as we keep on getting lower in a lower state of mind, that television, eventually, it becomes the biggest ad service. The biggest ads are ready to pay money for the TV service. And then it goes from TV to YouTube videos. So at the moment, we're at 5-second ads for YouTube videos because the value of an ad is less than the value of an ad on a TV show, because the production value is lower on the YouTube video. But haven't you noticed that YouTube video ads have been getting longer, right? So they're progressively growing, because the value of YouTube is becoming greater. And as the production quality lowers, the quicker our attention, the more dopamine our brains need, the more attention it needs, where it's constant changing. And now you know what the next level is: TikToks now. So TikToks now have those 1 second ads or those ads you could skip. But watch, soon enough, TikTok will start having longer ads on just regular TikToks, on just scrolling, and our attention feeds will stay to that. We will pay the bigger premium for those ads as long as you keep on giving me new, cheaper content. Keep on scrolling for cheaper content. And they'll pay the price right at that point when it's got really bad to watch a long ad rather than when it first came out and they were 1 second ads. When it first comes out, people's attention spans are still good, but then as their attention spans start to drop, they're willing to sacrifice more of their time watching an ad for that company because they need that constant swipe of attention change. And then even watching a YouTube video is hard, and it has those ads. And then a movie, and then a TV show, higher production. Who watches TV shows? And then it's like people can't watch movies. It's a whole big thing with our attention spans. People watch TikToks while they're watching a movie, while they're watching a show. Thank you. Beatles are the greatest band of all time. Let me cook. So, the Beatles are said to have gotten lucky, and I don't know, some of their songs are just, maybe they're not real or they're written by someone else. But by the time the Beatles became famous, they had almost 8 years under their belts of just practicing. It got to the point where they got so good at it, their thoughts, the way they thought, just speaking to themselves, was in harmonies and musical notes. So after that many years of practice, they obtained these skills in their mind to be able to think and hear music. Their thoughts flow like music, and they keep on going, and the only way to get to that is by practicing for years and years and years. So they gained these abilities, and then they were just blasting out songs because whatever they thought about sounded good. So if you get good at anything, you could have an impact on the world. And as long as you keep on practicing, keep on going, you could do change, you could do great things, and put your imagination into this world like a painting or like a song or like a writing or like a play or like a book. It's all in here and it could be used.